Oh, God. Didn't I tell you already? You know my motto. I don't make believe. I make believers. Family. I'm back again. I'm your gracious host, hailing from the Carolinas. Columbia, South Carolina, to be exact. I hope you're having a good day. If not, you know the old adage. Ask yourself why, and remember, happiness is an inside job, and it will always be an internal affair. Well, guys, we back again. Woo! The things that have been transpiring. TBA, you done dropped the hammer, man. You done hit a hornet nest, and all the coons came running out. Oh, my. Guys, I got another reaction from Jason Black. Long broadcast, over 7 hours of fire content. Go check him out, okay? I'm gonna call your attention to the screen. This is when Jessica X meets Jason Black, aka Jason Voorhees, as I call him now. That's his nickname. All right, let's go.
All right, take two. Hello, Jessica, or at least they.
Hi.
All right, Jessica, what is on your mind?
Well, I've had quite a few people to tell me to call in. I don't really have a problem with you, so
why did they tell you to call? Why did they tell you to call in then?
Well, you know, the guy called in earlier, Don P, and he said that I was agreeing with you, and then Pearl came through, and then I switched it up. That's not true. I don't know if you've listened to it, but no, that's not true. I just gave my opinion on it. Even when Obsidian did his show yesterday with Pearl, the interview, I kept the same energy. I didn't switch it up. So I'm not really sure what's going on.
Where are you people from originally, Pearl? Nigeria, the Caribbean? Where are they from?
Pearl? My dad's from Africa. He's Nigerian.
Okay. Pretty much figured that in your mom.
My mom's white.
Okay. We won't hold it against you. All right. Well, the word is, though, that apparently you had some disagreements and switching up in tone where I was concerned once Pearl showed up. A lot of that going around.
Yeah. No, I feel like I kept the same energy.
Really?
I don't know if people want me to rip her head off. You know, I know you watched Obsidian, so you saw me up there. You saw me speak to her. Well, I don't know if you did, but I presume you did. So I kept the same energy, like face to face on the panel with her. So I'm not entirely sure.
Well, just to make sure we clear the air on where that is concerned here, so that you can speak in your own words here now, as opposed to somebody else. Slavery was exaggerated.
Oh, no, I said on my stream, I don't agree with that. Because I said she used Roots as a reference for slavery being exaggerated. And like Roots is a movie, because the person who made the movie said that they wanted a myth for people to live by. But that's in regards to a movie. That's not in regards to slavery. So I made that clear on my stream.
Okay, but the principle itself, though, Roots being an allegory, and that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly okay. I don't think you can argue with Roots either, though. I don't even think that Roots can be argued with even as an allegory. A Christmas Carol was an allegory, but it's not really one you can argue with either. And it has fanciful elements to it. So the only way you would argue with it is if you're a person who believes, yeah, to hell with the poor.
Yeah, I'm not trying to argue with it. I'm not trying to argue.
Why is it that Pearl has found so many Black folks, usually of immigrant backgrounds in London, who have been so pliable and so amenable to her?
I can't speak to that one directly.
Really?
You know,
okay, let's not.
I think
really, we want to go out like that? Really?
Honestly, I think she's giving them a job, so they're taking the job.
Family, I'm going to play this, and I'm not going to comment much through this because I want y'all to listen to the whole conversation in its entirety. But you got to pay very close attention to the word usage. Listen at the verbiage. Listen at what people don't say versus what people say. Listen very closely. Now, I'm letting it play because I want you to get the full context of this thing. Jessica X, man. Her name was kind of dirty up in the streets. It's kind of questionable. But I'm going to continue on, all right? Let's go.
Okay, but you don't think that's indicative of the rank and file of their class over there?
The rank and file Nigerian?
Yeah, I mean, you throw a penny in a crowd and you can find plenty of folk there who are willing to buck dance for her over there. She's had no problem getting people who work for her, people to join her in the studio, people to get on microphones. She's had no problem doing that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't knock them for it because a job is a job, you know?
Okay, Jessica, now just to be sure here, are you sure you did not refer to me as a race hustler?
Do you know what? No, I don't think I did. I don't think I did.
You don't think you did?
No.
But you're not sure that you didn't?
I can't say for sure. I can't.
Yeah, that's very interesting. These individuals from these backstabbing cultures, honesty is something they grapple with. Would you like to take a little bit of time to think it over?
I literally can't say for sure. I can't say for sure.
Oh, so you're not certain. So what part of me strikes you as a race hustler then? Well, what do you define as a race hustler?
A race hustler. That's a very peculiar term because a lot of people just throw that word around. Understand, words have meaning, guys. This is my whole thing. Words have meaning. And if you're not careful, somebody can slip one through the cracks on you if you're not sharp enough. Because some people can talk up over your head and you don't understand exactly what they're talking about because they doing a lot of filibustering and a lot of blah, 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 and a lot of nigger babble. But listen closely. Now, I want y'all to listen. I'm putting emphasis on this. Listen closely. Because this is how you catch people up. People are not being honest.
A race hustler would be someone who plays on racial issues in order to progress themselves.
Okay, and how do I play on racial issues to progress myself?
Do you know what? I will say this. One thing I do remember speaking about in the stream is that there were certain things that Pearly said and you added words to it that weren't there. So that I did speak on.
I added context, but I did not add anything that wasn't there. She meant what she said. She was not referring to white people. And the fact that it's corroborated that when she talked about being late, Nick Fuentes was the one who said he's Italian and he's late. She was the one who interjected blackness in lateness where even Nick didn't do that. That constitutes a train of thought. So these are a bunch of tropes and stereotypes that run in conjunction with each other. You're trying to sit up here and say that they don't? You start. No,
in regards
I hear the little pitter patter of tap dancing shoes going on.
In regards to the being late, yeah, she specified black people, right? But when she was talking about the immigrants and the hard workers versus non-hard workers, she just said Americans versus the Africans that she works with.
Yeah, thank you. But she's referring to Africans. That's the point. She was already making it a racial thing. And then are you saying that was disconnected from everything else she said later? That sounds irrational. That's a person really trying to reach to disconnect it because they're trying to minimize her racial attitude. Oh, and about the folks because what you're trying to do here, you're a little sensitive about it because they have this myth they try to create among the immigrants that they're harder working, but the hardworking people don't have to flee. Hardworking people stay where they are and build where they are, even against an animosity government. So they have a myth they keep trying to build and perpetuate. But no, ma'am, she meant what she said. And that's why when it came back to that later, it was racialized. Nick Fuentes literally sat there and said, oh, well, they're certainly harder working than Black Americans are. Now, if she didn't mean it that way, if she wasn't referring to Black people, why didn't she push back or clarify on that when he said that?
No, and after he said that, they both started giggling with each other.
Okay, but I asked a different question. I asked if she wasn't referring to Black people the first time, why didn't she push back against him when he specifically cited, oh, well, these Black folk are harder working than those Black folk? Why didn't she sit there and say, oh, no, that's not right?
Because she didn't disagree. She didn't push back on anything.
Thank you. She didn't.
Nope. She didn't push back on anything. You know why? Because silence is complicity. She was agreeing. See, y'all don't realize something. She know who Nick Fuentes was before she brought him on the show. She just not going to bring a perfect stranger up on the show. And y'all so stupid. You want so much validation. You want your nose so far up her butt cheeks until you can't even see off the end of your nose. A bunch of piss poor excuses for a man. I'm telling you. Don't make any common sense. Now, Jessica is dancing around. She's trying to evade because she don't want to come to the light. And this is the problem that we have. That's why it's good that this happened, because it's separating the wheat from the tare. It's separating the fake from the real. Now, how is it that you can build with people that have a different worldview than you? Especially whenever it comes down to something of this magnitude here. See, these collaborators need to be dealt with. See, but they come amongst the people and blend in. See, but now it's a new day. The paperwork is being pulled. The cover is being pulled up. Yes, we are discovering everybody. And people crying and hollering fire. No. Where you from? What's your background? Oh, so you from, okay. Now we see a pattern going on. It's called pattern recognition. And Jessica sitting up here, well, no, she didn't say that. What she said was, you added words into her. Boy, I'm gonna tell you, you have to watch out for the coons and the coonesses. You have to watch out for them, because they'll get you messed up. I'm telling you. Boy.
And at no time did they refer to white Americans.
No.
Now, I can show you where they specifically referred to Black Americans. Not one place can you show me where they referred to white Americans in a negative.
No, that's true.
Okay, so when you sit up here and try to do this dishonesty of saying that, oh, well, she didn't say erase the first time. That's you trying to cover for white mommy.
Bingo.
No, I'm just reacting as I go, right? So I'm listening to the clip. I'm reacting as I go. So I'm like, okay,
I don't know why everybody wants to tell that lie. Everybody wants to tell the same lie that they just heard it for the first time when they were all on the stream.
No, I did.
Everybody wants to act like they heard it the first time on the stream. All of you heard it beforehand. Otherwise, you never would have wanted to talk to Pearl in the first place. If you hadn't heard it before the stream started, it's irrational that you want to talk to her because you don't know what you're there to talk to her about. Let me just get called on the fly. No. That's crazy.
So I did a stream on it, right? Then I joined Obsidian's live interview. So those were two separate things. What they're talking about is the stream that I did reviewing it. When I did that stream, I'm just reviewing it as I go. Now, when I actually got to Obsidian's, that's when I had the foresight of having seen the whole thing.
And you're on here with me and you're saying that, well, you added things to it. You just said that with me just now on Zoom now. So that's not something from last night. That's something from right now. Yeah,
because you were asking what I said.
Yes, I didn't add anything.
That's what I said in that
stream. The only thing I added to it was context, because anything else would be a distortion.
No, when you said, did she mention white American people in there at all? You're right, she didn't.
Right, but she did mention black people. So when she was referring to being hard, not being hardworking, she was referring to black people in America. She was referring to black people in America.
After seeing it, I can see how you come to that conclusion.
Okay,
I can see it.
I see how you come to the conclusion. Great. I'm glad to hear that there. I can see how you come to that conclusion. That's great. Do you agree with that conclusion based on the evidence?
I could say like 80% I agree.
The banjo is playing. Y'all believe that? Can y'all believe they do a buck dance and a banjo in London? Tap dancing shoes, buck dancing and banjoing in London. They all think they're going to get on. They think if they kiss up to mommy's ass, they're all going to get on. And it's never coming. Like, they're all going to try it.
No, I've been invited on her show. I've chosen not to go. So it's not about me trying to ingratiate myself with people or me trying to get in there and form alliances. If that's what I wanted, I could have done it already. That's
Can you give me an example? Can you give me an example of a white race hustler?
A white race hustler, the guy that was on the show with her, the Nick Fuentes guy.
Okay, what part of him is a hustler?
He's a hustler because I believe he's intentionally saying things to stir people up.
Okay, but that's not the same context. Now you're describing something different. You're talking about an agitator. That's not a hustler.
That's what I meant by it. That's what I meant by it.
That's not the same. Okay, that's not the same thing. See, when you're referring to black people, you're calling black people race hustlers. But obviously what you're trying to say is there is no white counterpart to race hustling. That's something that only a black person can be.
No. I'd say it's the same thing.
That's why I asked. Okay, but that wasn't what you described with me. You didn't say agitator. You said someone who does it for their own gain.
Yeah, so to gain, like with Nick Fuentes, I believe what he's doing is to gain clout and popularity.
Okay, when you said that I was a race hustler, what am I trying to gain?
I feel like clout and popularity to a certain extent, yeah.
Okay, and what have I done to gain, quote, clout and popularity through exploiting race?
Like when I was listening to the stream, right, where you were saying things about Pearly, it seemed that way at the time, and that's why I said it.
I didn't say anything to gain something for myself. I specifically referenced her words, and you're saying that was somehow gaining something for me? Repeating her words and giving it context is race hustling?
But it's the context, right? Because she never said Black Americans at that time, but you said she's saying that immigrants are harder working than Black Americans when she said Americans. So the context that you added is where it becomes specific.
Right, but that's not race hustling, ma'am. That's literally not the definition of race hustling. That's literally not the definition. I'm not gaining anything.
You can call it.
Guys, let me tell y'all something. Have you ever in your life heard anybody refer to any white people as race hustler? Richard Spencer, Jared Taylor, Baked Alaska, Nick Fuentes. Huh? Have you ever heard of it? David Duke. You ain't never heard. It is exclusively used for Black people. And let me be honest with you. Let me be forthright with you. The money is not in race hustling, quote unquote. The money is in cooning. That's where the money is at. God almighty. I said it. Look on the internet. Look at your Officer Tatums. I can call names now, but all right. I'm going to just stop right there. See, they want to hear you talk about Black people need to vote. Black people need to pull their pants up. Black people been doing the right thing in this country for 400 years. And it doesn't matter what you do. You still going to be castigated. You still going to be put upon. It don't matter what you do. You can be the most upstanding guy, a lawyer, a doctor. You still a nigga at the end of the day. That's why I don't buy into, well, we should just do better. Do better how? Everybody have their problems in their community. See, but what happened, guys, they put the camera at the bottom dregs of society of the black community. And they try to make that the representation of the whole community. That is just a microcosm. That's not a microcosm. That's a small portion of the community to the bottom. Now, what if we took the camera and put the camera to the bottom 20% or 30% of the white community and keep it there? To be honest, you don't have to put it at the bottom of the white society. You can just look at white society as a whole. You can start at the top. They do crimes against humanity. God almighty, let's talk about it. Huh? Whenever you look at white society from top to bottom, the crime don't change. The bottom commit crime, the middle class commit a lot of crime, and the upper echelon commit the most crime. Whenever you look at black society, where is the crime at? The bottom. That is where the majority of the crime lies, at the bottom of the black community. Whenever you start getting up into the middle class, crime start dissipating. For real, for real. And the higher you go, the less crime in the black community. Now tell me that I'm lying. Tell me that I'm lying. See, y'all don't want to have a conversation with me because we can look at the numbers too. We can pull the stats up. And some of them are slanted and biased because you can write a lie like you can sing a lie and tell a lie and live a lie. But look at the black society. A majority of your crime gonna be on the lower end, the bottom 20%. That's where probably 85, 90% of your crime is at in the black community because it's called human condition, if you didn't know. The Italians did it back in the early 1900s. The Jews did it. All of them that lived in Chicago and New York City, Philadelphia, that's where you get your mafias and all of that stuff from because they was poor. Poor people commit crime. And that's where a majority of our people do it. What is your excuse in the white community for committing so much crime? What is your excuse? Because I can show you at the top, it's crime galore. I can show you in the middle class, it's crime galore. And I can show you on the lower tier of the white society. Crime don't change hardly. See, our crime is at the bottom. Think about what I'm saying. See, you never thought about this. See, you didn't think this thing through. See, you so used to seeing the camera on the bottom of like, oh, they just need to quit killing each other. Don't white people kill each other around the same rate? Don't Asian people kill each other around the same rate? So my question is, why is there such thing as black on black crime? And there is no such thing as white on white crime or Asian on Asian crime? And I'm going to leave that with you.
Agitating, that's the word that you wanted to use, whatever, adjective that you want to put there.
Okay, but I don't think it's agitating either because I'm not trying to stir up a specific race of people to have bad feelings towards another race of people. So that wouldn't qualify either. These words have meaning, Jessica. These are words these are words and terms that have specific meanings and definitions, and you're throwing them around like a monkey slinging dirt.
I'll say this, where I can take accountability on it. I haven't watched enough of your stuff to form a solid opinion, and so it was wrong of me to put that out there.
But
because
Jessica, you kind of got a rep though, don't you, Jessica?
As in,
you kind of got a rep for soft shoeing sometimes.
What do you mean by soft shoeing? I'm sorry.
You got a rep for soft shoeing and kind of buck dancing sometimes. You got a rep for that?
No, I don't think so. I think most of the time I'll stand in my square, but I'm being genuine and saying that I don't feel like I watched you enough to be able to form a solid opinion. And that's even why when I got up here, I was hesitant to come up because I realized that. So I was hesitant to come up with it.
Here's the lesson. I know some of y'all, when white women show up, your heart starts fluttering and you start getting, Twitter pated, and it's just like, oh, white mommy, you start sweating and getting flustered, and you start flushing your skin. And I understand that's kind of hard to resist that. But if you don't recognize a hardcore white supremacist when you're in their presence and you don't respond emotionally, reflexively, accordingly, your life is in danger. You're the kind of chick who would go dancing off with some dude from Alabama who's visiting London and they never see you again because you're predisposed to be susceptible to that. Meanwhile, the black men who are simply reporting the news and saying that 2 + 2 = 4, you calling them race hustlers. Which you know full well, you're only meaning that in context of black people. You don't mean that in white people's context. You only mean that as a negative or pejorative towards black people, specifically black men. And that attitude is dangerous.
No, because like I said, I know you haven't watched the stream, but I called out Nick Fuentes for what he did.
It's not Nick. It's not Nick that's the issue.
Bam.
I keep saying that you haven't heard me sit up here and say anything about you versus Nick. I'm sticking on the square. I've already said who the issue is. No, ma'am, it's you and white mommy. That's the issue. You and white mommy.
Her whiteness doesn't mean anything to me.
It was enough. It was enough for you to start deciding to call folks race hustler. You and Obsidian kind of had that in common.
No, that wasn't about her. Okay. That's more.
It was about her because you wanted to try to minimize her racism. And what you did, it wasn't even factually accurate. All I did was provide context because that is a trope. When she said that, those are white supremacist. This is something I want you to remember here, Jessica. This might be new to you all over there. These are white supremacist code words. So the reason for a code word is an individual who does not want to believe something. When you throw out a code word, it's supposed to give them plausible deniability. Right. Oh, well, I never said I was talking about black people. I could be talking about all Americans. Yeah, but as the conversation progressed, it was never isolated to white people, not as a negative. As the conversation progressed, it only distilled down to anti-black.
Well. A lot of y'all might not know exactly what he's talking about whenever that he referenced code words. Let me give you an example. Remember when Hillary Clinton was talking about super predators? Who was she talking about? When they was calling them thugs, who was they talking about? Whenever they say BLM, who are they referring to? Those are code words. And once you can understand the language, the world will become illuminated simply because you understand the language. See, you can have a conversation with somebody within a conversation because you understand that language. They don't have to say, I'm racist. See, y'all need to stop this foolishness. Why do y'all need somebody to admit that they are racist? You don't have to admit it. Because I see the handwriting on the wall already. You don't have to admit nothing to me. I don't need no explanation. I don't need no apology. I don't need none of that. You understand?
But the moment she said immigrants working harder than Americans, the moment she said that, I said she's talking about black people. Now, remember, that was earlier in the interview. The rest of that comes after she said that. So she started with immigrants work harder. And I said, hey, she's talking about black people. Well, if I was wrong in that assumption, then why is it that as the interview progressed, it narrowed down the focus to targeting and demeaning black Americans? If my first assumption was wrong, then how was I able to accurately call where it went?
Context.
No, and that's why as I watched the stream, I realized what was going on. And by the time that I came into Obsidian's interview, I had a lot more to kind of form my opinion on and my stance on Obsidian's.
Is Pearl a white supremacist?
Listen.
A white supremacist?
Listen.
I don't know if I'd say that.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you got your tap shoes on. She literally sat up there and said the black folk are lazy. She literally sat up there and said that slavery was exaggerated. She literally sat there and said that black immigrants in the UK, that all of you, people like you, are always late, which is a euphemism for lazy. Yeah, y'all, white mommy. She's like, you know, Jason, she tried to act before as if she was being mischaracterized. As soon as I said, hey, is white mommy a white supremacist? I don't know about that.
No, I say she's ignorant. A white supremacist? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know about
that. Which part of what she said and did is not white supremacist?
Listen.
Because in my mind, white supremacists believe that they're superior. They want some sort of harm towards black people.
Okay, is keeping you in a position of subjugation harm?
Subjugation how?
Ma'am, keeping you economically deprived, keeping you economically and socially oppressed, keeping you in a police state where your rights can be deprived at any time. Is that harming you? Wow.
I don't know about all of that.
Have you ever had a white boyfriend?
No.
I don't believe you. You're lying.
It's
You're
hard.
lying. You're lying. I don't believe that at all. You're lying. I'm just going to tell you right now, you're lying. No, there's a white dude. There's a white dude who done gripped them butt cheeks over there by the Tower Bridge. There's a white dude over there who done gripped them butt cheeks near the Tower Bridge. So no, ma'am. No, that's not going to fly. When you're this resistant to something that's so obvious, that's because you're compromised. So you're sitting up here, you're describing every characteristic of a white supremacist. And then when I say, is this a white supremacist? You pull back and, oh no, I don't know about that. I don't know. You heard everything she said. What part of that is not a white supremacist? Well, I mean, you know, as I said, this is the kind of little goofy chick who a white man will be able to talk her into going off anywhere by herself. And that'll be the last time you see her because she wants to sit up here and pretend that she doesn't see what's in front of her. And usually when you pretend to be dumb long enough, you actually become it. Eventually, you're going to do something you shouldn't do. She's sitting up here acknowledging this woman's spouting white supremacist talking points, multiple ones in one conversation. But when you ask her, is that a white supremacist? I don't know. What kind of person who's not a white supremacist says that black people are lazy, black people are late, black slavery was exaggerated? What type of non-white supremacist white person talks like that, Jessica?
An ignorant one?
Okay, you're calling it ignorance. At what point does it become racism?
I believe it's racism if you feel that you're superior or you look down on.
And what she said does not qualify to you as looking down on black people?
In terms of the not working as hard, yeah.
In terms of they're always late, in terms of slavery, we don't need reparations because you're blaming other people. In terms of slavery was exaggerated. Exaggerated by whom? Oh, exaggerated by you.
You guys have, like, you call it CPT time, right? CP time. Over here, we call it African time. It's known that, like, it's an inside joke that
it's an inside joke. It's an inside joke for white people to join in on.
That's why I said to her that I don't think she should speak on it.
Okay, I don't think she should speak on that. So you're not going to go to the point of saying she's racist. It's just, oh, well, I think it's inappropriate for you to speak. It's just a joke. So you don't take actual offense to it, not on a racial standpoint.
In terms of the being late?
She's literally sitting up here using code words to call you nigga, and you sitting up here trying to be an apologist and explain it away. That's dangerous.
Very.
That's dangerous. When we talk about the dangers of the tether class, this is what we mean right here.
Exhibit A.
She's literally sitting up here trying to explain away. This white supremacist is using all the words, and she's sitting up here. Well, it's not racist. It's ignorant. Ignorant means that a person doesn't know what they're doing, Jessica. So you're saying that she said all of that, but she doesn't actually understand its racial and historical context?
I mean, someone can think that they're right and be ignorant at
Jessica,
the same time.
are you saying that Pearly did not understand the racial and historical context of what she was saying?
No, I think she did, right? And
okay, then how is that? You can't be ignorant and understanding.
No, but it's like you can still think that you're right, but be ignorant.
But what you can't be is both ignorant and understanding. This has nothing to do with whether you think you're right. You just said that she understands the racial and historical context of her words. At that point, you can no longer argue ignorance. Now, you can say the person's in error, but you can't argue that they're ignorant.
Yeah.
Things got real quiet.
Because I don't know what to say.
How old are you, Jessica?
28.
You are too damn old to be this silly. You are too damn old to be, now this with the behavior you're doing, you're too damn old to be this obstinate. In the face of raw white supremacy, you're sitting up here trying to be an apologist and argue away about it. And that's dangerous. That's dangerous because other black females and other black people will hear you acting this silly and they'll sit up here and follow up behind it because they think that you have some knowledge or understanding that they don't, that the situation's not that bad and it's not that dangerous. They'll sit up here and listen to you. And you'll mislead them. You're hearing white supremacy, but you're refusing to call it white supremacy. So you're telling everybody that's not white supremacy. So when they hear that or something 5 degrees worse than that, they'll say that that's not white supremacy either. Then it all becomes, quote, ignorance. So she's just erased the definition of racism and white supremacy altogether.
You can tell I don't do these conversations.
You don't have to do the conversation. You were born it. You don't have to learn the conversation, man. Weren't you born black?
Yeah, but I haven't really had any racial situations, if I'm being honest.
No, you've just dismissed them. You've met them multiple times. You just dismissed them.
Y'all heard it first. Y'all heard it first. Wow. She say it's ignorance. So just Pearly Thing didn't know who she was bringing onto her show. She didn't know nothing about him. She didn't know that her talking points sound just like 4chan, Stormfront. All of that. See, whenever y'all guys get smart, you actually will go over into those white spaces and just be a fly on the wall and just sit back and just listen at the conversation. Look up at the threads and you will see every talking point what she was saying. Those are white supremacy talking points. That's how we know, because we got up off our rump and went and investigated. See, when people say certain things and we heard them buzzwords and those dog whistles, we know exactly what kind of person they are. But y'all heard what Just Gex said? I'm not putting no words in her mouth. You heard it. You heard what Jason said. Who you gonna roll with? She said that she have not experienced any racism over there in London. That's the heart of the beast. You know what? I'ma just throw my hands up, guys, because I got to go. But guys, you know what I need y'all guys to do for me. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me. And come on back to see me. Shout out to TBA. B1. And until next time, peace. And remember, there is more.